Hey guys, it's Morgan coming to you with the race recap review video. There we go, Triple R, race recap review video about the Red Canyon Enduro down in Texas. Mainly, we're here to talk about all the things I have just done to this 300 KTM. If you've been watching the channel, you know that we just rebuilt the motor. We're starting to run VMoto tires, all kinds of stuff. So let me give you a list of all the things we're going to go over in this video, so you can decide whether you want to stick around or not. First of all, we'll talk a little bit about the race, the Red Canyon, whatever. But really, it's more about the fact that I actually took this thing out and really beat on it in a race. Because trail riding's one thing. You know, you're pretty hard on stuff trail riding. I can be pretty hard on stuff trail riding. But really, I think the real test is actually racing something. So anyway, we're going to talk about the VMoto Force AT rear tire that we ran. We're going to talk about the Scalvini pipe. We're going to talk about the RK Tech head and piston and base gasket setup I'm running. We're going to talk about the Kehin 36mm carburetor and what jets I ended up with in there. We're going to talk about the spurs foot pegs from XC Gear, the Extreme Parts fan, the leading edge supplements stuff that I've taken, and then we're going to talk about the new gearing that I'm running because I haven't run a 1450 ever. So if that stuff sounds interesting, stick with us for this video, because we're going to go through all of that.
Somebody's gonna get high and it's gonna make me.
Can I get a high five? Good girl. All right, guys. So let's start with the VMoto Force AT rear tire. I've already talked about these tires in the past. You know that I like them, but guys, I can say for sure that this thing is brilliant. Take a look at it. This has got 3 rides before the race and then a full race. Lots of rock, lots of high speed, lots of slow speed, a little bit of everything, and this tire still looks good. You can see, get in tight there. Here we go, focus. There we go. Still looks really, really good. This one is the normal compound. So this is the normal compound tire, not the Apex compound. That's what is on my 125. There's the Apex compound on the 125. It's definitely worn down a little bit more. It also doesn't have, I don't think that has a race on it. It's got a lot of riding on it. But anyway, running the Nitro Mousse in it, it works really, really well. I'm running the normal Platinum Mousse. This is a 110-118. I'm running the Platinum NM18305. The tire is amazing. It hooked up really well. I didn't run the front VMoto, not because I don't like it, but because I had a really, really good looking M59. Let's take a look at it. Already on the bike. And you guys all know I love the M59. There was just no reason to take it off. I wasn't going to take it off just because to test the VMoto. So anyway, really, really big fan, guys. Also, I now have a code to use at vmototires.com. It's just the discount code is Highland, H-I-G-H-L-A-N-D. Put that thing in there. You'll save 10%, and it's worth it. Give it a shot, guys. Try these tires out. I really do like the front also. Force AT, either regular or Apex compound. They're rad. Super, super rad. Next, let's talk about the Scalvini pipe. So here she is, the beautiful piece of artwork that is a Scalvini pipe. I want to show you guys. So there's some dimples. We got some dimples and some things. I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, I crashed my way down through. This crazy trail called Chuck Norris. Huge rocks. I rode not well. Bounced through everything. It was craziness. And I can say I was blown away with how well this thing held up to the abuse. It got hit on lots of things. It did not completely cave it in. I'm really happy. As far as the way it ran, it ran really, really well. Now, Kelsey at RK Tech, he will tell you that he hates Scalvini pipes because they're a top-end pipe. They're like an over-rev pipe, and he likes low-end stuff. He doesn't think they work that well, blah, blah. Anyway, I thought the pipe and everything combination worked really, really well. Now, you got to take that into account with what we did to the motor, which is what we're going to talk about next. But the Scalvini pipe, I think, is good. Definitely gives this bike some over-rev, which the 300 I think can use. But that leads me into talking about the RK Tech stuff that we did, because some of what he did gives more mid-range and over-rev too. You guys know I love the RK Tech head. It's probably the best $350 you can spend on a two-stroke motor, in my opinion, as far as just making more horsepower and torque everywhere. It's amazing. But recently, we put the RK Tech piston, Kelsey's custom piston, in. Also, his special base gasket stack. He's got a base gasket stack he likes to use. It's 2 of the thicker base gaskets. I can't remember which ones they are. I can look it up, but what it doesn't matter. He sends it to you with the piston, and with that, what that does is it raises the cylinder up, which raises the ports, all the ports, transfer ports, exhaust ports, intake, everything gets raised up a little bit. And what that does, in the short version, is it gives the bike more mid-range and over-rev. But then with that, he sent me with a really, really high compression dome for my head. And what that does is it gives the bike all that crazy torque. So the end package is a bike with an amazing amount of torque, like crazy low-end power, but then a ton of over-rev. And I think that the port timing and the pipe together work to give this thing an over-rev like a 250. It's nuts. So I am really, really happy with that thing. Now, he also gave me, I think, the highest compression dome he has. So I had to mix a little race gas in with my gas down there in Texas. I don't up here. Up here, I just run 91 octane ethanol free, and it works great. I don't have to mess with any kind of race gas up at this elevation where we live, which we live at 6,000 feet, even probably all the way down to 4.5, which would be Moab. I shouldn't have to run any race gas, but down in Texas we were like 2,000 feet, so I spiked it. I don't know, I just did 50-50 race gas, normal gas. I don't really know if I had to, but I did it just in case. So anyway, it ran absolutely awesome. So happy. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the 36 millimeter Kehin carburetor that I put on and was busy fiddling with and jetting for quite a while. It took a little while to get it dialed in. And I had some, I think, aberrations. I kept going up on the jets and thinking it was better. I went back down, and so I ended up, my official jetting for Texas, I'm going to change it for here, but for Texas at 2,000, 2,500 feet, I had a 175 main jet and a 45 pilot. So the 45 pilot felt really good. I think I'm going to get away with that here. I might drop down to a 42. We'll see. And I'm going to go to a 170 main. I'm running the Suzuki needle, whatever the Suzuki needle is, in the number 3 position, so in the middle. It's really good. This carburetor is so much better than Mikuni, and it's just a slide. There's the big difference. The slide design is a little bit different in this. Generally, they're both basically the same kind of carburetor, but the Kehin slide is just a better slide. That's all there is to it. It's just a cleaner, better throttle response. The thing's just whatever. It's absolutely brilliant. If you can find a 36 millimeter Kehin, I highly recommend it. The 38 is good too, but I like the 36. It just has a little more velocity through the Venturi, which I think gives this thing a little bit better throttle response and a little bit more clean, crisp throttle all the way through. So I'm just love that carburetor. Also, you guys should know you can just bolt it right up to your bike. You don't have to worry about the throttle cable or any of that stuff. You can use the KTM throttle stuff, so it works awesome. All right, next, guys, I want to talk about the Spurs foot pegs from XC Gear. There they are. You've heard me talk about this if you've been watching my videos recently. I am absolutely in love with those foot pegs. I never thought I would say that about a foot peg. I never thought I would care that much about foot pegs. Something that Lance has done has made that an amazing upgrade to this bike. By the end of the race in Texas, I really quit worrying about it, or even thinking about it, even noticing it. But it's just a level of comfort that is absolutely brilliant. I mean, the things are so good. At first you put them on, you start to notice, like when you hit these big G outs and hard edge stuff, your ankles and your feet are just a little more comfortable because they're moving just a little bit, and it's not a ton, but it's just a little bit, and it really makes a big difference. They're really expensive. They're $279. I get it, but they're amazing, and they're burly. Check them out. Let's look at them close. So they've got this cool protector here to keep the nut from getting messed up. They're super strong. You can't move them just moving them like this. You got to stand on them and make them move. But they move just like they're supposed to move. They're narrower this way than a normal peg, but they're just as wide. They're offset back, which I don't know if that's part of why they work so well. Probably has something to do with it. Also, though, it does allow you to get to the shifter and the brake a little bit easier. Absolutely amazing, amazing, amazing foot pegs. Highly recommend them if you got the money, you want a comfort upgrade on your bike. Spurs foot pegs from XC Gear. I cannot recommend them enough. They're really, really good. Next, the Extreme Parts fan from extremeparts.com. I got the bike hot enough. We were in this one gnarly canyon for a while and slipping the clutch and going slow and whatever, and I finally heard the fan come on. So I'm happy. That's awesome. It took a ton of heat before it came on. It never boiled, but it did run for a little bit, cooled it off, and then went right off. I'm a big fan, guys. If you want to order something from extremeparts.com, you can go there, use the discount code Highland10 and save 10%. From those guys. They ship from Romania to here. It only takes about 5 days, so faster than a lot of things these days. And it just plugs right into the OEM harness. I have some in stock if anyone's interested. I have some that have an on-off switch. I also have some that plug into the TPIs that use the computer to turn the fan on and off. So I have that in stock. Otherwise, you can go to extremeparts.com and do that. So it's awesome. It worked great. No issues whatsoever. The next thing I want to talk about is our newest partner, Leading Edge Supplements. I know a lot of guys are just drinking water, Gatorade, or whatever, but guys, things have come a long way in the energy drink / hydration situation in our lives. There's lots of stuff out there. There's tons of really good things out there. But I am stoked. For two reasons. One, first of all, the Severe Clear, or what are they called, Freedom Fuel, it's like a nootropic, brain enhancing, whatever. It's for super clarity. Also, it's caffeinated. It helps you stay alert without jitters or anything like that from coffee. It doesn't have any sugar in it, so it's not bad for you like all the other crap like Red Bull and all that stuff. It's amazing. You just dump it into like 16 ounces of water. It mixes really, really easily. I used it during the race. I used it a little bit on the way down there, actually. It helped me stay awake going to Texas, which is a long drive, through parts of it through the middle of the night and back. It was awesome. Helped me stay awake for that. But then also I drank a quart of it before the race, and it was awesome. I felt great, crystal clear for the whole race. I kept drinking water during the race, and that was awesome too, obviously, but it was great. Then the other one, which they call hydration, is, it's got electrolytes and all this amino acids and all that stuff. I don't know about you guys, but I have problems with cramping after a long race, especially in the heat and the dry, and I'm hammering down and doing my thing. That night, a lot of times, if I don't drink enough, I'll cramp up. And even if I do drink enough, I'll cramp up if I'm only drinking water. I had a packet of that. I poured it in, like I said, a quart of water, drank the whole thing, drove all the way till 2 o'clock in the morning that next night. No cramps, no issues, no nothing. It was awesome. So we also have a deal with them. If you go to leadingedgesupplements.com, I believe is their thing. I'll put it down here somewhere on the screen. And use code Highland, HIGHLAND. You can save 15%. All these things, guys, that I have codes for, it really helps us out if you do that. So yeah, guys, the Leading Edge supplements are really, really, really good. I really like the hydration stuff. Like I said, no cramps, no nothing. I felt great. And the energy drink / nootropic, whatever, I forget. I'm going to read up on it more, but let me just read. It says, Energy, Cognition, Immune, Vision, and Neurogenesis. It's awesome. It's really, really good stuff. So, like I said, go to their website, use code Highland, save 15%. Yeah, I think you'll really like it. The last thing I want to talk to you guys about are the big changes I made on this bike while we had it all in lots of pieces was the gearing. First of all, huge thanks to DDC Sprockets for the sprocket. Hands down, the longest lasting, best rear sprockets I've ever used, ever. They're better than the DIRTBIKES. They last forever. They're way better than the twin ring stuff. I've seen those come apart, which is no good. I'm running right now a 1450. This bike came stock with a 1350, so I'm actually up one tooth on the front. I was a little bit worried about when I get in the really hard stuff, if it was not going to be low enough. It's perfect. I love it. In that race in Texas, we did have some really hard stuff on the Chuck Norris Trail and a couple other trails we actually had to go slow on. Some ravines with big boulders and stuff like that. I'm working on the video of the race, so make sure you check that out as a companion to this video. But I like it. It causes me to have to run a little bit more speed through the hard stuff, which then keeps the bike planted, also keeps my momentum up, and I just do better. So yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. So there you go, guys. This bike is my dream bike now. I absolutely love this thing. It is absolutely brilliant. It's been brilliant for a long time, but I got over 400 hours on it. I am just in love with it. So if you're wondering whether you should sell your bike and get a new one, or if new is going to really be a big upgrade, think about it. Think about it a lot, because there's a lot to be said for really dialing in a bike that you already love. Having something that you know backwards and forwards, you know it's awesome, and then just riding the living crap out of it. So anyway, hope that was interesting. I hope you guys liked that video. If you have any questions about any of those products or any of the stuff that I did to this bike, please, please, please comment below, or you can send me an email at morgan@highland-cycles.com. If you want to support this channel, you can buy some merch in the links below here, or in the description, I've got links of how to help us out through Patreon, Amazon.com, all kinds of ways, guys. So there's lots of ways to support us. I really, really appreciate you. All you guys who have been supporting us all this time, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Thank you for your attention, your time on these videos. I know that life is busy. I know it's a crazy world. I know there's a ton of options out there for YouTube channels to watch. So thank you for spending time with us. Anyway, I gotta go. It's time to get out of here. I love you. I hope you guys have a great day. I desperately hope that what we're doing here at Highland Cycles is inspiring you guys to work on, but more importantly, get out and ride your dirt bikes!